A 38-year-old woman is accused of beating and fatally stabbing a 59-year-old man and killing his cat. At 9:21 p.m. on Thursday the 30th of May, authorities responded to a residence at 300 Venus Drive in Greensboro, North Carolina and found 59-year-old Todd Allen Arnold deceased inside with multiple stab wounds to his torso and blunt force trauma to his head. Investigators also located a dead cat inside the home. Upon further investigation, authorities identified 38-year-old Lauren Ashley Fullerton as a primary suspect. Authorities said that Lauren called 911 4 times that night. She told deputies on scene that she'd used fentanyl and went on to say she stabbed Todd to death after a disagreement. She also admitted to killing the victim's cat. Investigators said that the man and his cat had been dead for a couple of days. Deputies said that neighbours reported that they were concerned about Todd and his cat. Lauren was booked into the Guilford County Detention Centre on charges of first-degree murder and felony cruelty to animals. At 2 p.m. on Friday the 31st of May, Lauren appeared at the Guilford County Court where the judge denied her bond. The relationship between Lauren and Todd is unclear as the investigation into the matter continues. A 59-year-old man is behind bars for fatally shooting his wife on her 60th birthday. At 12:47 p.m. on Saturday the 25th of May, police responded to 820 North Cass Street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on reports of a woman shot. When officers arrived, they found 60-year-old Jacqueline Beeson unresponsive in a grey Toyota Corolla with a gunshot wound to her left cheek and an exit wound to the back of her head. Medics arrived and attempted life-saving measures, however she was unable to be saved and was pronounced dead at the scene. Upon further investigation, authorities identified Jacqueline's husband, 59-year-old Timothy Lewis, as a suspect in the shooting. Authorities said that a woman identified as Jacqueline's daughter told police she was on the phone with her mother just before the shooting. She said she could hear her and Timothy arguing in the background. At one point she said she heard her mother say, "Put the gun away," and it's fake. Authorities said that Jacqueline's daughter then heard Timothy say, "There you go," before the phone went silent, and she did not hear a gunshot. Jacqueline's daughter told police she called her mother back numerous times, but received no answer until someone else picked up the phone and said a man just shot the woman in the car. Milwaukee police said that Jacqueline was celebrating her 60th birthday when she was shot in the head by her husband while sitting in the car. A witness told police she was returning home from a job and was parking a car on the west side of Cass Street when she saw a man leaning into the Toyota Corolla across the street from her. The man was pointing a black handgun at the woman inside the car, and she said she could hear the woman say she had recordings of how the man treated her while telling him to get away from the car. The witness said that the man said okay, and then she heard one gunshot. The witness said that the man walked to a white Mercedes-Benz and drove off. The witness then went to the Toyota Corolla and saw the woman slumped over and called 911. Later that day, officers stopped a white Mercedes-Benz which Timothy was driving. He got it and said he had a gun, which the officers recovered. During his arrest, Timothy said he was going to jail for a long time and knew police were looking for him. The next day, Timothy told investigators he had plans with Jacqueline on her birthday, and the two got into an argument. He said he had a concealed carry permit and always had a gun with him. Timothy also told police he got tired of being yelled at, pulled the gun out and just lost it right there. Timothy said he shot her one time and thinks he shot her in the jaw. He said he's the only one who did it, and no one else did it. Timothy's charged with reckless homicide with the use of a dangerous weapon, and he's held at the Milwaukee County Jail with bail set at $750,000. A 34-year-old man is behind bars and is accused of throwing a toddler and killing a dog. At 10:57 p.m. on Saturday the 25th of May, authorities responded to an apartment at Evergreen Manors in Altoona, Pennsylvania on report of a man assaulting an 18-month-old boy. A witness told police she saw 34-year-old Brian Gracia holding the child and smacking him repeatedly. She said she could see in the window because the blinds were pulled up, and reported that Brian struck the child multiple times before throwing the child into a pack and play. The witness said she went to the window and yelled at Brian, telling him to stop hurting the child. At that point, Brian left the room and re-entered the room with the child's mother, who picked up the baby and kept him away from Brian, stating stop hitting the baby. A security guard at the housing complex told police Brian and the child's mother came out of the home and sat down on the sidewalk with Brian holding the lifeless dog and the baby still crying inside the home. Police said that the child had red marks on his cheek, back as well as 2 partial finger marks on his forehead. The child was transported to a local hospital for treatment to his injuries. In an interview with police, Brian said that the boy often hits the dog and he smacked the child to reprimand him. He said that the dog and the child often played in the pack and play together, and claimed to have placed the child on top of the dog by mistake. He said he tried to revive the Chihuahua when he found it unresponsive. Police noted that Brian was still holding the dog's body while talking with officers. During the course of the investigation, it was determined that when Brian threw the child into the pack and play, it was done with enough force that the victim was thrown onto the small dog, killing it. Brian was arrested and charged with aggravated assault, endangering the welfare of a child, recklessly endangering another person, simple assault, cruelty to animals and harassment. He's held at the Blair County Prison on a $25,000 cash-only bond. The investigation into the matter continues.